Welcome back to Rollplay. Far Verona, it is a clusterfuck in the bunk room. Basically, everybody's there. The whole gang's here, and there's violence and yelling. So much yelling. Yasna, you and Hadil are standing in the doorway watching this chaos, which seems to have escalated somewhat since the last time you saw this person. What we see is Johnny and this mystery passenger they're basically wrestling. Johnny is trying to get this person out of the situation, and the person is fighting back, trying to get Johnny off of her. Haley is standing there, murder staring at the two of them. Christine is screaming. Autumn, are you still yelling at her while Johnny is wrestling?
Not necessarily maybe yelling, but like telling, like trying to be like, just again, that kind of, I can't believe that you would go this is where you go to straight away just because she annoyed you. This isn't how adults act. What are you, like a child? Just like really sort of, just really mad and just letting it fire out.
Okay, all right. So Yasna, what do you do?
I mean, keep in mind that I'm coming already pretty heated from the captain's quarters, right? Like I'm like pretty upset. So the problem is that I don't know who to be upset at right now because it's just all this chaos. So I am just like, what the fuck is going on what are you doing? And maybe even I would suddenly like, first you take my bunk and now what is this?
Okay. Are you attempting to calm the situation down? Is this you come in and be like, everybody shut up and stop it?
I am kind of hoping.
Or are you just contributing to the chaos?
No, I think I think I am kind of hoping that there is everyone at least like stops for a second, like maybe to try to break the chaos for a moment. And if that doesn't work, then we'll maybe step in. We'll step in.
All right, I think this is a leadership role, I think. The whole like listen up, you primitive screwheads.
Let's do it. What am I diffs?
It's a pretty chaotic situation. Let's call it 4 purples.
All right. How many are we down to 3 story points?
You got 4.
We have 4.
And if Johnny's got but Johnny, you only have one blue for yourself. If you had 2, you could give one to Yasna, but you can't. Okay.
You're gonna need
it in a second, Johnny, anyway.
Let me use a story point too. It's just sort of a like this is unacceptable. I need to get control back.
Yep.
So which die do I add to my pool? A blue?
You're gonna put an upgrade on your side.
Oh, an upgrade. Yeah, oops, not 4. 1. Okay, 4 purples, 1 upgrade, and
4 purples,
I'm rolling
and 1 upgrade
leadership.
On your side. And you roll leadership. Here we go.
Boom.
Hey, you did it. It stressed you out a little bit, but
it's okay, man.
Okay.
Stressful day on the ship.
You get what you wanted. You get a moment where everybody just like shuts up and stops fighting for a second. You get your Mr. Mom moment. Everybody looks over at you. There is a pregnant pause. Who is the next person to act? Like, what is the next thing that happens? Everybody stops and looks over at Yasna. Haley, you have something you want to do?
Haley's gonna very slowly pull out her gun and hold that lady's head.
So you just take your gun out and point it at her. Okay.
No, she's gonna like get up in her ear and push the gun barrel against the back of her head and go.
So you can't actually reach her because she's all the way up there.
I thought they were scuffling.
She's a grown up. I mean, they're not like on the ground wrestling. They're standing up, so you can point the gun at her, but getting up that close would be very difficult. You can point it at her
out here, Adam. I'm 4 feet tall. Help me out.
You stand up on one of the beds and then point the gun at her.
Great. Let's do that.
That's fine.
But I just want to. Mark, are you okay?
This is such a bad idea, but I love. Okay, go.
All right. But she's gonna hold the barrel of the gun up to her head if she can, I guess, and then whisper, "Read the room, sweetheart."
Okay. So when you pull a gun on her, she like stops fighting with Johnny. She puts her hands up. She looks at you and she's like,
She can't look at me.
"Why? Because you won't let her?"
I'm behind her.
Yeah, she starts to turn her head to like
No,
look at you.
I'll
Do you
push
like
the if she
tap
tries
her with
to
the
turn
gun?
to. Yeah, I'll push the barrel harder in the back of her head.
Whoa.
Okay, so she's like, okay,
Whoa.
okay. Yeah, like clearly this
Buddy,
all
calm
got way out of
down.
hand.
This is ridiculous.
It's called neutralizing the situation, Autumn.
Suddenly, like I start giving hand signals to Haley, like
It's not very subtle.
We had this
No,
not
what was-
conversation.
we
double
had
finger gun.
We had a signal.
No, that's for
it-
shooting. That's
Yeah, is that what
I
you're
am
doing?
giving you. No,
Is
I
that what
am
you're doing?
not. I am not giving you double
Haley's
finger guns.
Haley's like one of these. One of these.
Yeah, so you're like looking at her. Like,
I-
do you want me to shoot a blaster?
Maybe I pick it back up. You know, like stop. Everyone, just stop. We must talk for a moment. I maybe look at Johnny and like let's stop for a moment.
Johnny's like frozen like this. Just, you know, just like the classic fisticuffs pose.
Do you still have your mustache, Johnny?
Hell yeah. Absolutely never took off the mustache.
The thing about the
That's what
mustache, though, is that
happens.
since it's glued to your face, I think it's hanging partly off
Oh, yeah.
because of
Yep,
the
just a little
scuffle.
bit. Yep.
Yeah,
Just a
and so
little
you
bit
just
hanging
got
off. So
Hands out, your big
he looks
bristly
at the
mustache
camera and it's like he just looks like his mustache is just sort of like drooping.
drooping.
to one side.
So there's this tense moment. Everybody kind of just like looks around. She's got her hands up. She's like, okay, maybe you can take the gun out of my ear. We can talk about this. She's
No, I'm
looking
very
at you, Yasna,
reasonable.
because clearly you're in
I'm-
charge.
I'm like nodding. Haley,
I think we can have a conversation just like this.
That's not how it works. Haley, just back off.
She hit me, Autumn.
I know. That's why me and Johnny were trying to
Maybe-
deal with her.
yeah, I would immediately. You hit her.
Tried to.
And she
Little.
nods.
Oh, she hit me.
and she's-
Well,
yeah, she
True,
nods
actually,
and
yeah, she did actually
she
hit them, yeah.
says, she says, it needed to be taught a lesson. I didn't see any
It's-
parents around.
It's.
yeah, did she say it?
No, she said the kid.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
Kid needed to be taught a lesson.
There are
Kind
no
of
parents
messed up
around,
background
so
we have.
you just hit a child like that?
She nods and she said, if I was this kid's parents, I would have started a long time ago.
Haley's gonna push
You're-
the gun into her head again.
Yeah. So you like she'll get an
You're not the only one who can learn lessons here today, I don't think. Or I'm not the only one who could learn a lesson here today.
She says, yeah, hard to learn lessons when I'm dead. What are you gonna do? Shoot me in the back of the head with that thing? Come on. Put it down.
The lesson here, I think, is to maybe reconsider what you're dealing with before you take action.
Do you lower the gun or do you have it? still have it
No,
pointed at
not even
her?
a
Okay.
bit.
I would say like, please take a seat. Let us talk. I'm talking
Your little
to
friend, your little
our
friend gonna let
passenger.
me yeah, she's like, your little friend gonna let me turn around?
Haley.
A little jumpy with
Please,
a gun pointed at my head.
Let her take a seat on my bunk for a moment.
Which Haley is standing on right now.
Perfect. Please, Haley.
Fine.
Okay. So she takes a half step forward. She kind of gives a look at Johnny like, Everybody, she's surrounded by people that might yell at or attack her at any moment. She just kind of looks around like, everybody okay? And she puts her hands down. She turns around and she looks at you. But she only looks at you for a second, Haley. You see her look at you, then her eyes flick to the gun, then her eyes get kind of wide, and then she looks back at you questioningly.
She
Yeah, that's
recognizes the type
right.
of gun.
Punk.
Hadil is in the room, right?
Hadil is standing by the door on
Playing with a knife.
she's ready. She's ready for action. She's like a coiled spring.
I want to try to give Hadil what could be interpreted as an order, but I'm going to say, Hadil, can you watch the door? Make sure no one comes in.
He nods.
All right.
Yeah. Deal's a bro.
So, what is your name?
She kind of looks around. Why does that matter?
Jesus. We're asking a goddamn question. You've acted like nothing but an asshole. Just like, oh, I'm like,
I'm
leaned up
actually-
against the door, like, I'm sick of this woman's
And that
shit.
perhaps is the most shocking thing of the whole
Yes.
scene. Not the gun, not the slapping. Autumn said a bad word.
I've done a few bad words, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
jeez, she is ticking me off.
I look back. I guess it does not matter, but I do not know what you want me to call you.
She says, if we weren't all trapped in this tin can so tightly packed together, I would prefer you didn't call me anything. Talk to me, look at me, get in my way. I just want to get to Cabina. I don't want to have anything to do with you people. Okay?
We know that we've been funded by the same person. or
No, I don't think so. She certainly doesn't know.
Well, we are trapped in a giant fucking can, and it is still a while until we go to Cabina, so we must exist on this ship together. So at least we can try to exist with some type of class. So, would you like to give me your name?
Make a charm roll for me. Yes, no.
Charm.
No,
All right,
do this.
make a charm roll. What do I got? Bad die.
Let's see. You have some threat that I haven't spent yet from that last one. So let's call
I didn't
it-
just take strain for that, or did I also take?
No.
strain?
Yeah, don't take strain for those. So
got
let's do three purple, and then I'll spend those two strain and three purple and 2 black.
Jesus, I don't even know if I can actually.
You get story points.
You can always succeed because the other die, the bad die, can come up blank.
The black dice have
you're
blank
right.
sides, so they might come up
You're
as
right.
nothing.
Well, I mean, I only have
I think it's
2
like a
in
2/3
charm.
chance they'll come up. Yeah, you're not very charming is the other thing. So
Yeah. I'll just roll.
Just go.
Fuck it.
okay, good shapes. Here we go.
I mean,
Okay,
Well, success,
now
but-
you can take the strain. Now you can take 3 strain. She clearly, like, your effort to be friendly fall on deaf ears. She doesn't get like mad, right, or anything. You didn't like critically feel, but what she does is she looks at you, and you see in her eyes this like deep distrust, right? Like she's being standoffish to keep you at a distance because she doesn't know you or trust you. And so telling you her name that would require that she trusts you with it. And she
So
shakes her head.
okay, can I step in? If she shakes her head, can I say,
Yeah.
all right, it doesn't have to be your name. Just give us a name, something we can call you, something that, so we're not just saying, hey, you. Tell us, so what can we call you? It doesn't have to be your actual name.
prefer if you didn't address me at all.
Well, that's going to be pretty hard, seeing as we're going to be traveling on the ship to Kamina together, and there's not a lot of places for people to sleep, eat, or exist. We're just trying to be reasonable here, all right? If you tell us a name that we can call you, we'll tell you what you can call us. That way, if we pass each other, or if we want to pass a spoon, we don't have to say, "Hey, you, the asshole who hit a child."
She's like, well, that's weird because that's actually my name. Strange. So she eyeballs you for a minute and kind of looks around, and she says, all right, fine. It's gonna be a long trip. Don't want to be friends. I don't want to get to know you better. I have no interest in any of you. But if for some reason you find you are in desperate need of addressing me, my name is Vigdis.
Fine. I'm Autumn. You need to address me as something. Let the others introduce themselves. Now there's a problem. Yasna, did the captain have anything to say about the bunk situation?
The captain had a lot to say about the bunk situation. Unfortunately, the captain had nothing right to say about the bunk situation. So currently we are down a bunk.
You watch, Yasna, you watch Vigdis count and do the math and come to the same conclusion the captain did. You watch her eyes kind of flick around the room, and then she looks at Johnny, and she says, just to the room, I don't see the problem. She looks at the bunk that she's sitting on. She looks at you, Yasna, and she says, enough room for all of us to sleep here? I don't see the issue.
Johnny.
Yeah, so all eyes fall to you, Johnny. There's enough beds for everybody who looks like a human.
Not to us, it doesn't.
Well, I guess she's right.
No, she's not.
She's
mean,
not
there's another
right,
per-
Stephanie.
Haley, are you okay?
I'm fine. I mean, I'm physically fine. I'm not okay with the situation at all. We've been
Okay,
here longer than you. We got here first. Johnny's been snuggling up in that bunk every night, and he's going to continue to do so. We're going to have a problem.
I can stand. It's not a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Christine, who is now standing behind you, Johnny, says quietly, but not so quietly everyone in the room can't hear her. She says, it's okay, Johnny. You can sleep in my bunk with me. There's lots of room.
Really predictable, Christine. Really predictable. Gotta say.
Autumn, forgive me if this is out of I'm out of place. Perhaps we give this Vigdis your room and give her the privacy that she desires. And then you can stay in this room with us.
Vigdis looks at you, Autumn, and says, you got a whole room to yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Suspicious glance at your pilgrim outfit.
Yeah, I do. Maybe if you I might be willing to give up my privacy so that this Vigdis can stay and be on her own. But nothing in life's free, right? So I think there needs to be a little trade. And I think that involves an apology.
Oh, damn.
You want to be left alone so
Spoken
much?
like a true
Fine.
noblewoman.
Yeah. First, I expect an apology and a little more respect.
Yeah, this is the part where somebody gets slapped in the face with a glove and it's like, I demand satisfaction.
Hey man, I'm an Eridanus. Everything's got to be a trade with me.
It's
So.
true. Yeah, you got to pay.
Eridanus meme.
Yep. So she looks at you and she says, wait, so let me get this straight. You want me to apologize, and in exchange, I get my own cabin for the whole trip?
I'll need to take some things out of it first, but sure.
Why? You know what? I don't care. Fine. What am I apologizing for?
Firstly, it's two things, actually. First, an apology for hitting Haley. And the second one, for not treating Johnny as what he should be. He's our
I'm
friend.
not going to apologize.
one of us.
I'm not going to apologize to an appliance. That's
Well,
ludicrous.
Then you're not getting a room. Too fucking bad.
Why do you have
Travel
your
with
own
us.
room anyway?
That's not part of the trade.
Yeah.
Want
Bad
that
deal.
room?
No.
Apologize to my friend. Fine. Johnny, why don't you come and stay in my room?
What? You sure?
Yeah, why not?
Wow. Wow, that's really generous of you, Autumn. Thanks so much.
No problem. You've been there for me. Seems the least I can do.
Wow. Wow, a whole room to myself. Wow.
Sure.
Johnny can't believe
not?
it. Johnny's like, holy shit, this is everything I wanted. Not only did I get revenge, but I got my own bed. And he realizes Christine is probably going to follow him, but at this point,
Well,
here's the thing,
no, she's
Christine.
not.
Yeah, Christine has had an emotional journey through this conversation where she first was like, "Wait a second, Autumn, you're gonna stay in Autumn's room with Autumn? Oh, I don't think so." And then when you're like, "No, but I'll stay here and you can have the room," then she was like, "Ooh, I get to stay in the big room with Johnny." Yep.
No, she doesn't.
Uh,
It's Johnny's room.
Yeah, well, so Vigdis shrugs, like she doesn't care. She gets a bed. It doesn't matter to her. Yeah, it doesn't bother her that you want to give up your whole room for this piece of machinery.
Okay.
She's like,
Interesting.
fine.
I thought that she might, considering she was so resistant to apologizing.
No, she just, yeah, she doesn't seem to care. She's just like, you do what you want.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just be like, right, well, that seems resolved as best as it can be. That's still Yasna's bunk, so you can sleep and I'll point at the one Johnny was using.
Yeah, and I mean, just like Yasna, you and her have this in common, Yasna. She doesn't care. She's like, one bunk's as good as another. Like,
She cared earlier.
it was
Didn't
the
care
attitude
about
that
it.
she cared about. Yeah.
She was trying to be
she-
badass.
Yeah, she gets up and she picks up her bag and she picks up the piece of computer or whatever you dropped on the floor earlier, Haley. She puts it in her bag. She zips the bag up pointedly and she walks the 3 steps over to where Christine is sitting on the bed that Johnny was sleeping in, because she has her own bunk, but she just like sits on yours all the time. She walks over and she looks at Christine and she just says, "Scram." And Christine gets up and like moves across the room, and she pushes her bag under her bed, and she turns back and looks at the group of you and she says, "Don't touch my shit. Try not to talk to me." She sits down.
I'll just turn to Johnny and be like, let's go get you started, Johnny.
oh, all right. I mean, I don't require a lot. In fact, I don't require anything. It's pretty crazy.
I'm gonna probably still look at Yasna, because technically we still have the bunk problem. We still down one bunk, even because I had my room. That was where I was sleeping. So
I mean, Christine
probably gonna-
has a real easy fix for this problem.
yeah, Christine does. And I have an easy fix. It's cool. I'm gonna sleep on the floor in my room. I'm gonna roll out some blankets.
Christine is gonna stay in your room with Johnny, and then you have a bunk to yourself. Your bed is actually big enough for 2 people to sleep in.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Cool.
So what happens? Like, do you go to get your stuff?
I'm not leaving the room.
Autumn?
I'm sharing the room with Johnny. And Christine can argue that, but I'm gonna stand. Now that I've dealt with that asshole with Vigdis, Christine's nothing to Autumn. Like, Autumn's feeling pretty fucking confident. And I'm like,
You're
no,
yeah, I'm gonna go and demand.
this was my
control of
room
the ship,
initially.
and
Yeah, exactly. It's
I love-
I guess like Autumn's
so-
point of view is This was my room. I'm sharing it with Johnny to solve the problem. You can go back in the bunk.
Right. So is
I
there
don't know
any
how
is
you're
there
gonna
any
do that, though,
point
because trying to get rid of Christine is like trying to scrape tar off your ass. Dude.
Is there any point in this, and I'm curious from Autumn's perspective, I want to ask you, like Mark, what Autumn is feeling. Is there any point in this where you're like, yes, I should be giving the orders around here, like these peasants, like, because you are within your legal rights as a member of House Eridanis to seize control of the ship, to be like, you there, peasant, this is my ship now. Like, you are totally within your right to do that. The system protects you. Like, you know, you could do that, and the captain would probably grudgingly be like, okay.
I think that she recognizes that she could do that, and she knows that the captain is the ultimate trump card. Like, she could technically be like, hey, captain, you're gonna, in fact, actually, maybe that's what she does. She'll probably go to the captain and be like, you're gonna sleep in your cockpit, and I'm gonna sleep in your room. That's gonna be the solution. She knows that she can do that, but I think that it doesn't occur to her in that she's giving orders. To her, it was like a problem. It was like a medical or like a financial problem. There were one too many beds. That person was being an asshole.
Supply and demand didn't match up.
Yeah, and so it was just like she was solving a problem. Like, she still totally, if Yasna told her to do something, she would follow that order because she doesn't see herself as being in command in the same way that Yasna is. This is a solution. This is a problem that needs to be solved through diplomacy and some negotiation. Which is technically
bunks
what
on
she's
this
good
bunks
for.
on this ship are a seller's market, right? Like, you have a commodity, and not enough of that commodity to meet the needs of the people that need to consume it, and so you have to do some clever economics. Okay,
so there was a little bit of Eridanis leaking through.
So she's Vigdis has a bed. She doesn't care anymore, so she just puts her feet up and relaxes, and everybody else can play the bunk roulette. So what do you do? Where do people go? What happens now?
I think I would take Johnny to my room so that I could gather some stuff, but I also want to ask Johnny what Johnny wants to do. So I want to basically ask Johnny, I want to kind of get him alone and say, hey, Johnny, listen, what do you want to do?
Okay, so where does this happen? When you ask Johnny,
when
you're like, Johnny, I want to talk to you. So the two
I
of
say,
you
like,
leave?
come, let's go grab my stuff. Yeah, and then we'll leave.
Okay, Christine
and then I'll
follows
talk to Johnny
you.
in my room. I'll just basically turn and say, Christine, sorry, I need to get some things out of my room. Can you give us a minute?
Christine looks at
Johnny's
Johnny.
not
like,
going
really?
anywhere.
You're gonna let her talk to me like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's up to Johnny.
Yeah. So Christine looks at Johnny like, should I don't want to leave you alone, or I'm more like, I don't want to be alone without you. What do you do, Johnny?
Johnny is internally like just screaming. But he says, he says, sure, you can come with. That's fine. Like, everything, everything
I'll turn
is
to
trying not to, but he's like,
okay. I'll turn to Johnny.
Christine puts an arm around your arm, like she holds onto your arm.
I'll hold my hand up and say, like, sorry, Johnny, perhaps I wasn't very clear. There's some personal things I need to take care of, some delicates that I would rather not Christine deals with. Just a second.
Oh.
You can feel Christine's nails digging into your arm, Johnny.
Okay. Well, Christine, looks like I've got to go with Autumn for a little bit. You stay right here and I'll come right back.
Yeah. I feel like she doesn't know what to say or do.
In that case, if she looks like she pauses, I take Johnny's hand and just walk into my room and shut the door.
Oh, boy.
Like, if she pauses, I'm like, I've had enough.
Okay. So we stay with Christine a second. The two of you go in the room. The door closes. Christine, we have a nice, like, close-up of her face, and she just nods. She's like, this is fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. And she, like, walks back to the bunk room, like, just repeating that to herself. Meanwhile, in your room, Autumn
at the same time. Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Autumn and Johnny, you're now in Autumn's room, all alone.
It's a really quick thing.
So
it's
you
not
have
bad.
this all yourself?
Oh, the captain was insistent that I have my own space, which is kind of crazy, but it's kind of expected, I guess. Listen, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, Johnny? Christine's gonna try and come in and share this room with you, but we're still a bunk down. I still need somewhere to sleep, or Christine will still need somewhere to sleep. Now, one of us can take the floor in here, or I'm sure Christine will want to get into this bed with you. It's up to you. All right, this is your choice. I want you to. I want you to decide what you would rather do. Now, maybe I can get the captain to give me his quarters. I don't know. So, I want you to make this decision. I can deal with Christine if
Johnny
you need me to.
Johnny says nothing and looks. He crouches down and looks. Is there like a space under the bed? Like, is this bed elevated?
It would be probably not. There would probably be like containers underneath, like shelves or whatever that you would pull out and put stuff in. But I don't think a bed on legs would work on a spaceship. It would have to be like locked to the floor.
Is there like a closet in this room?
Yeah, definitely. There's a closet.
Johnny goes over to the closet. He opens the door and he nods at Autumn and he steps back into the closet and closes the door.
I'll just go. I'm like,
So
you
sad.
don't have to go in the closet, Johnny, if you don't want to. It's up to you. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Just end transmission.
Oh, okay. All right. Sure. If you're okay with that, that sounds good.
It's good. It's so comfortable in here.
Okay. Well, you know you're gonna have to deal with Christine wanting to come in here. I mean, I'm gonna tell her that I'm still gonna be sleeping in here, but
That's fine.
all right. Okay.
Keep me in here. Just lock me in here.
I'm not locking you in there, Johnny. We might need you. I'm like outside, like looking up and talking through this
Talking
closet
to the
door.
closet door. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you need anything? Do you want anything?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So Autumn, do you leave? You're gonna go talk to the captain?
No, I've still got my room. It's fine.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna stay in here.
So
Johnny's gonna go in the closet, and it's all fine.
You go over to your desk or like over to the bed or something. We stay with Johnny. So the shot is Johnny in the closet alone. There are clothes like hanging on either side of you. And there's like a beam of light coming. There's a beam of light coming from the crack in the closet door, just like onto your face. And I think if you're game, Elspeth, I think maybe it's time for a flashback. I think maybe it's time for a little Johnny flashback.
A Johnny flashback.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you are comfortable ostensibly because this is the kind of enclosed storage space that you are used to like retiring in, right? Like this was the kind of space that you stayed in the bar. And so maybe what we see is like a fairly subtle crossfade. And what's different, obviously you don't have the mustache, but like you look like a much better model. The clothes disappear, right? The clothes fade and you look like you're in much better shape. You're exactly the same, but your skin is like slightly more human looking. You have a little bit more of a glow to you, less like we don't need to determine how long ago this was, but this was back when you like worked, when you had a job. And so you see this closet and we see your eyes open. And you hear like a boop, 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 and then the closet door slides open. And instead of Autumn's room, we see the sort of dusty, there's like motes of dust hanging in the air of a back room of a bar. So there are all these boxes with like liquor bottles on them. Big like acre kegs that just say liquor on the side of them. And in front is like, I guess the person who owns you. Or whoever like owns the bar or whatever human person would be like coming to turn you on like for the beginning of a shift. What kind of person is this? Like, who are they? Is like an old man? Is it like a younger person? Like,
nope. It's a younger man. Maybe late 30s. He's human. He has a towel over his shoulders. He has this kind of like really pristine 5 o'clock that looks like maybe he just keeps it there all the time. Like he never fully shaves. He's got this kind of slick back parted hair. It's perfect. Like honestly, there's not a hair out of place. He's got very like furrowed brows. He always kind of looks mad. He has a white button down shirt that's tucked into these brown slacks. But the slacks kind of cut off because he's also wearing combat boots. So he's
Mhm.
got no visible what's the word? Enhancements to his body, but
Mhm.
he does have strong looking arms because those are technically like cyborg arms, but you cannot tell. Like Johnny knows that
Okay, so he's like, okay.
he's very much like he's built.
Can
But yeah,
can
we've
he be
got
played? Can he be
what's that?
played by Bradley Cooper? Can he be played by Bradley Cooper? Can we
Maybe
say that that
Bradley
is the
Cooper. I
actor?
was thinking more John Hamm. But
Okay, so
just
like a
he's
discount
very
Bradley Cooper. Got it.
yeah. How dare
The
you?
TV
John Hamm
version.
is discount nothing.
Sorry, John Hamm. Okay,
John
all
Hamm
right, I dig it.
Um, but yeah, so this guy he's very brusque, very predominantly like traditionally like a maybe 50s version of masculine in the United States
Mhm.
masculine.
Okay, so we see him, and he's just entered the code to like open your storage unit, and he says, yeah, he's like, all right, Johnny, wake up, come on. And he hits a couple of buttons on the inside, and we see there's like a cable running from like your back, and he basically you I was gonna say he turns you on, but that's up to you. He activates you, and yeah, you we see your eyes kind of glow from underneath, and yeah, and then you see him in front of you. You see him fade into appearance. So you see a little. We see from your perspective a roll of diagnostics, basically just going through all your systems to make sure you work. And yeah, and then you see him. What do you say?
Ah, how long was I out, Doc?
And he laughs and shakes his head, and he says, "You know, that's the 32nd time you've said that to me in a row, Johnny. It doesn't get any funnier."
Uh, I at least hope for some kind of laugh someday. Kind of hard these days, to make people laugh.
He says, "Well, it's a shame they didn't make you a comedian, but this isn't a comedy club, and I need a bartender. So, come on, we've got some shipments to move in."
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so there's a brief montage of like work stuff, like Johnny and this guy like working. What kinds of things did you do? Like, what if it was a montage of like scenes of Johnny kind of as the bar was opening? What would we see?
So one of the things Johnny was he was kind of like a jack of all trades when it came to the bar. So the first thing that we see is them kind of getting ready for the bar to be open.
Mhm.
It's not a seedy place. It's a fairly good looking establishment. They get some pretty nice clientele in there. Lots of maybe lawyers who come in there like from working with a lot of intergalactic customers who
Mm.
are going through kind of like I don't know what to call them, lawyers who deal with a lot of like war, like actual
So
like
members of House
wartime.
Crux then.
Yes.
So this
So
bar, so maybe this bar is on Hyra.
yeah.
Okay,
Actually
that's
I think that
cool.
yeah, so it's a place known for its not just ability to kind of uncannily pick like what drink you would like, but also it's respected. You don't come in there to just have a good time, play some pool. You come in there to
So it's like
drink
a court,
and like
like a bar across the street from a courthouse, and the
sure,
lawyers
yeah,
all like come in after or
sure,
between cases, and
sure.
yeah, they're like like JAG officers, totally, but like they do like maritime law, but for space. I like
Maritime
that.
law,
Okay.
exactly. So
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 how often does Johnny make jokes about like passing the bar or like the bar exam, like bad lawyer
he's
drinking
well, he's
jokes?
awful at making jokes, and the thing is, some of these people that come in actually respect him for his horrible puns and his bad joke making. They realize that
Mm.
that he is a toaster and he is a machine. It's like, oh, there's that thing again making jokes. It's like
Yeah.
my freaking vacuum cleaner trying to tell me the same joke 500 times, but um it's a part of the charm, right? And I think that's one reason why Doc keeps Johnny around, because he's part of this um he's part of this business, and it's like keeping a fucking jukebox somewhere, right? Like
Yeah, totally.
totally
You've
out
got
of
kind of
out of
like a charm where other
yeah, it's
places
out
might
of date,
start.
but
Yeah.
oh, he's vintage. Look at that. So he keeps him around. And maybe not necessarily in a bad way, because I don't feel like Doc would be a bad person. I think Doc is there's a lot to Doc that we might not know about, and maybe even Johnny doesn't know about. But he's always been kind to Johnny. He's never been like an asshole. So we see Johnny kind of like bringing in fucking barrels of like oak aged something, we see him because he's so strong, he's able to just lift one at a time full of liquor, place it down somewhere. We see him trying to give maybe advice to people who come in. They might already be drunk, they might already come in and just say like they had a hard day. So Johnny is not only is the bouncer and the heavy lifting and making drinks, just maybe 4 drinks at a time. He's also trying to play therapist to these people. He's trying to like listen and provide kind words or comfort. So he's like I said, he's kind of just doing everything sort of at once. So
yeah, I like it. And we see these vignettes over the course of like an evening of the bar. So, we see the two of you open the bar, we see people coming in and coming and going, and then the night goes on, and then we end up at the end of the night. We see the last customer go out. There's a woman in her like attaché, and we see Doc like he's standing by the door saying goodbye. And he's like, all right, well, we'll see you next time, Lady Ibanez. And he closes the door and he locks it, and he reaches up and he hits the off switch on the open sign. It flickers and goes off.
I feel like
he turns around and
something that I don't know.
And so
about.
the two of you are in the bar now, and it's quiet, right? The fan is spinning slowly. The lights are mostly off now. There's no music playing. And Doc says, he says, can you go and check the back for me? Make sure we're all locked up.
Johnny does it without a word.
Okay. All right. So you go back there, and you notice a delivery that must have gotten made back when you were turned off, like back during the day, because you didn't get any deliveries during your shift. And you see that it's a big box. It's maybe like, I don't know, like 7 feet tall by like 4 feet by 4 feet, big, like a monolith shaped like metal box. And it has on the front of it a sigil that looks like a swan. You see a big like swan imprinted on it, and then it has like a model number and some other information on the front of it. And you've never seen this box before.
He kind of inspects, maybe sees if there's like a return address or something on it.
No, just a lot of specification data.
Hey, Doc. Think your vodka shipment finally arrived?
What? Hang on. And you hear like some shuffling, and your Doc come back, and he opens the door into the back, and he looks and he sees you, and he sees the box, and he makes a face that I think, Johnny, you're a pretty good student of human emotion. He makes a face like it's kind of like regret or like pitiable kind of sadness, where he kind of looks at you like, oh, buddy, like for some reason, which doesn't make sense to you. But he's like, oh, that, don't worry about that, Johnny. I think we're done for the night. You want to go ahead and shut down?
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Let me just go do that. You sure you don't want me to open this or help you unload it?
He just shakes his head. No, don't worry about it. I got this one.
All right, Doc.
And then Johnny just walks away.
Okay. Yeah. So you go back into your little closet, and you get in, and the door slides shut, and you just like the closet, and just to bookend the shot, right? So you have that same tiny crack in the door, and you get in, and the thing automatically like the plug goes in, and you get your kind of like running power down diagnostics, and it's running. And as your vision starts to kind of fade, you see Doc come over, and he looks back at you as if like you almost make eye contact, so he can't see you, right? Because there's just this tiny like slit in the door. He looks back at you, and he has this kind of like guilty look on his face almost, and then he turns back around, and he reaches up and he taps a couple of buttons on the front of this big glossy like coffin thing, and part of it becomes transparent, and you can see underneath what looks like a person like sleeping. He's handsome. He's got great hair. He looks like just a good looking human being, and you see him under this sort of frosted surface, this transparent surface. And you hear Doc mutter just as your hearing starts to turn off. You hear him say, "Yeah, the customers are gonna love you." And then he swipes, and the screen goes back to opacity as your vision flickers, and then like a TV goes off.
Can Johnny be hearing Billy Joel for the longest time play in his head as he powers down?
Yeah, of course.
For the longest time.
Yeah, and I think that it like warbles a little bit at the end, and like it gets a little bit like a warped record, and then cuts out. And we cut back to the present, and to the Protect You neck, and Haley, you and I think you and Vigdis are like alone in the room, maybe, because Christine, God knows where she went. I guess Yasna and Hadil maybe are still there. Hadil, what do you or Yasna, you and Hadil, what do you do after that whole fracas? Do you have anything that you leave for, or do you hang out?
It's not too many places we can go, so
yeah, right. Actually, you know what? Maybe when you have that, maybe if you exhibit any of that, when you have this look on your face, like, where am I gonna go? The ship is full of awkward people. Hadil looks at you and gestures like, "Come here."
yeah, I do it. I
Okay.
follow Hadil.
Because remember at the beginning, everybody was like, "Where the fuck is Hadil?" So Hadil, as you're walking, she says, "So, new girl's kind of an asshole."
An asshole is an understatement, but yeah.
Well, you back a rabid dog into a corner, see what happens. I'm just glad nobody got stabbed, shot. You think it's safe leaving that gun with Haley?
I feel like I have taught her well. So far, she has not killed anyone with the gun. But I think we'll be okay.
She shrugs, kind of like, "Yeah, okay. Like, I believe you if you say that." It's not like she's not dismissing you. Quite the opposite. She's like, "Well, if you think she's okay, then I will leave you in charge." And so the two of you walk down the hall, and she turns right into the cargo hold, and walks over to some of these. There's like stacks of like boxes. She walks over to the boxes, and she turns and she grins at you. Like, you see her whole front row of teeth. She grins, and she says, "Okay, close your eyes."
I close my eyes.
Okay, and she takes her hand, and you feel her. We see you with your eyes closed. We see you from outside. She squeezes herself in between two of these boxes and like pulls you along with her. And then you feel yourself being like kind of jostled, like if you're in a narrow hallway or something. And she's like, okay, hang on. Okay, all right. And you feel her hands on your shoulders. She kind of turns you, and then she's like, "Okay, look."
Okay, I open my eyes.
Okay, so in the back of these boxes, she has created there's a little space where the cargo basically creates walls. There's the back wall of the cargo hold, and then there's these boxes. And in behind there is there's a foot locker that's laid down. She's got what looks like a broomstick But on either end of the broomstick, she has duct taped like boxes or something. So it's like a primitive, like a dumbbell. And then on the wall, there is a cutout, and it looks like, or there's a poster, and it looks like it's like a House Crux recruiting poster. You recognize it. You've seen this poster before. It's like a Crux trooper giving a thumbs up. He's got a big bristly mustache. Give a thumbs up, and it says on it like, Uncle Doyle says, serve the Empire. And it's got deep knife slashes all over it. And she gestures and she says, what do you think?
It's another room we did not have before. What is this? A training room? Escape room? What?
She looks at the bench and the weights, and she says, I know you're not supposed to lift weights alone because something might happen or whatever, and it's not safe to not have a spotter. So I thought maybe you could spot me.
I'm like, sure, yes, I will spot you now.
She shrugs and she says, I mean, I was working out before. I could go back to working out, or you could do it if you want. I don't know how your body works, but I need to stretch my muscles or they get stiff and I can't, stab people when they need stabbing.
Yes, of course. Of course. No, please let me spot for you.
And she nods and she sits down and she looks up at you before she lays down and like picks up the weights. She says, listen, don't tell anybody else about this. It's nice to have somewhere to just kind of get away. You can use it if you want. Just don't tell them it's here, okay?
Yeah. I think I sort of nod with the like, I get it. I don't say anything, but like nod.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
And then
deep
she
down,
lies-
Yasna's like, oh, this is like, yeah, if someone like Hadil, who in the last 7 episodes and sort of the way this is like a big step, I think. So yeah, totally.
Well, and the thing is too, the parallel here is that Hadil and this Vigdis are kind of the same in the sense that Hadil is like a standoffish, like violent weirdo, but she, instead of getting in and trying to like push everybody else around, she just found a spot she could hide. And that's why no one has seen her and why she doesn't ever hang out with anybody, because she's got her own little room back here where she can like lift these weights she's duct taped together.
And this, Adam, for Yasna might actually feel like, okay, well, I have failed twice today, but this actually is, like, this is a victory. Got Hadil to take an order, and then Hadil sharing this. So yeah. Good.
So I guess the question is, do you want to use this? Because it is delicate, right? You could push, you've been around people like this before, you could push too hard and she might like, block you out again, or you can just like have a quiet moment with her. What do you think? What would Yasna do here?
Well, I mean, I think if I was actually going to spot, I would use the opportunity to, thank her for covering the door, right? Like, I mean, the way that Yaz is thinking about this is that, like, Hadil is a part of the group, but like, right, Hadil didn't let us in, so
yeah.
So is she gonna lift weights? Am I gonna spot her or what?
Yeah. So she does. So I think before she sits down and she like unzips her jacket and takes it off and sets it down next to her. And I mean, she's ripped. Like she's got like crazy ropey muscles. And there is evidence on one arm of like, there used to be a tattoo, but it's been like laser burned off. So you can see kind of the marks of where the skin is like discolored. And she lays down and she kind of like looks up at you like, hey, help me with the thing. Give me the weight.
Yeah. So I go behind.
Help her lift it up. And and she starts, she starts lifting it. And if you want to talk to her, this is the perfect kind of conversation for Hadil, because she can use the like, I'm lifting weights to reduce the conversation to like, I'm just going to say short, brief sentences in between like reps. So
Yeah.
if you want to talk to her, you
Yeah,
can.
um I think I say thank you for earlier. I I do not like the captain, and frankly, I did not want him getting involved with any of our business. Obviously, I do not trust this new passenger, and the fact that we've got nowhere with her is concerning. But I thank you. You did not need to do that.
That's true. I didn't, but you seem like you needed the help. You're used to working with a unit, aren't you?
I am. In fact, I don't know a time when I have not.
So this must be difficult for you, right? I mean, they're not military. You obviously are, or were.
Uh, you are not wrong. It is difficult, but I think a good leader can adapt to just about any situation. And in this one, we don't have the liberty of having an entire squad who understands every order or every signal, like the double finger gun or the don't shoot signal. So, yeah, it is hard.
Why I always like to work alone, though it's not like I was ever given an opportunity to do otherwise.
Why is that?
Not what I was made for.
And what were you made for?
She holds the weights up. She brings it down to her chest and she looks over at you before she lifts it again and she says, "Same thing as you, just different approach." Lifts the weight back up.
Uh so actually, I don't know that I respond to that actually. I think I
Yeah,
think about
right.
it for a second. Yeah.
So she says, you she says they make you fight in the war.
Um yes, I have always been at the mercy of someone else's orders, well, until now.
Story of our lives. Born with orders in the back of your brain.
Yes, and the orders you got every day as well?
No. Once in a while. I was dormant a lot. Deep cover. That kind of thing.
So, why are you going to Cabina?
Tired of killing people.
You wish to escape this life just like the rest of us?
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
And once you escape, what is it that Hadil will do?
There's a monastery in Cabina. I don't know. I figure I'll meditate. Sweep floors. Monk shit.
I'm actually like kind of taken back by this because I think that there's a moment where I'm like, I haven't even thought what the fuck I'm gonna do when I get to Cabina. And that almost doesn't really compute or process.
Yeah, and maybe when you're lost in thought, the thing that draws you back is her saying like, hey, little help. Like she's trying to like rack the weight again.
I am sorry. I am not a good spotter, am I?
So you help her like rack and she sits up and she grins and says, pass me that towel.
And I whip her the towel.
Take it off thing and give it to her. It's monogrammed. It has the captain's initials on it. And she takes it from you and she's like, wipes her neck and she looks at you and she says, you don't have any orders, so there's no way to know what to do next, huh?
I want to say I give myself the orders now, but the most important thing is to ensure the safety of this group, to Gabina, and find Autumn's sister.
Well, I don't know about her sister, but as far as keeping everyone safe, you're doing a pretty good job so far.
Thank you. And
she gets up, she looks at the like bench that she's made and the improvised like cushioning on it, and she looks at you and she says, anyway, I'm gonna go take a shower. And she like squeezes past you.
All right, thank you. I will take you up on that offer to lift sometime, and you can spot me.
Yeah, she looks at you, kind of gives you an up and down, and she smiles and says, "Anytime." And then it goes back through the little hidden thing. And I think the close of the scene as she slips through, we cut to the outside back in the cargo hold, and we see Bugs, who is like crouched down with one side of its head against the boxes. And as soon as it hears someone coming, it like sits up and his like eyes change color and he like scrambles to the other side of the room. And when Hideo comes out, we see Bugs just like picking up a box and like turning it around as if like, oh, this is the most interesting box in the world. And she just looks up at him or up at them, and then they look back at her, and they're like, yes, interesting box. What a cool box this is. And she just shakes her head and walks off towards the showers. So meanwhile, Haley, you are in the bunk room. It's tense because it's just you and Vigdis now. Not even Christine is here. What are you doing to entertain yourself? Are you just sitting there staring at her, or?
I think Haley still has the gun on her lap, and is just like sitting across from her and staring at her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, we start in on that shot, and then we have a shot of Vigdis's face. She's got her hands behind her head, and she like lifts one eyelid and looks over at you, and then sits up and turns to face you. She looks at you for a second. Are you always this creepy? You know, if you're going to go around pretending that you're a human, you're going to need to try a little harder. Human kids, they don't act like this.
Yeah? And are you the example of what human adults act like?
Some of them. I don't have to worry about that shit, though. You know, I was born. I have parents.
Said they died. Remember, we're in a club together.
Yeah, and she looks at you and she says, yeah, it's not the having them alive that really matters. It's the whole, being born thing. Listen, I don't. She puts her hands up. She's like, you don't have to. I don't care that you're a synth. That doesn't matter to me.
Hey, I also
Despite
don't
all of
care.
Yeah, and she nods and she says, yeah, but you should. You need to be more careful because she sighs. How do you not know this already? They're looking for you always, everywhere. One slip up and they do bad things. Especially to synths like you. Your friends, they get caught, yeah, they're going to get retired or whatever. they'll take their time with you. You need to blend in better.
Are you suddenly concerned about me and my friends?
And like, she actually is. Like, you take him and you look at her and you're like, oh no, wait, like, I was mocking you, but that's an actual emotion you're feeling. Like, she's looking at you like she's worried about you.
Why the sudden change of heart? You went from wanting to start shit with us, and now you're worried if we're gonna get retired or tortured?
Don't get me wrong, I don't care about you personally. It's just, these things are like dominoes. They find you, then they're gonna find your friends. Your friends are gonna lead them to someone else. I have friends who are synths, and I don't want them getting in trouble because someone like you is sloppy. You understand?
I'm not sloppy. I've been doing this a lot longer than you. I've been around a lot longer than you, and I wasn't born with the disadvantage of being born. I came out of the gate fucking swinging, okay? So you don't get to talk to me like that. I don't know if you clocked your situation, but you are outnumbered by a lot. And that's how I treated the situation. If we needed to neutralize the situation, easiest thing to do would be to kill you. And guess what? You can't really tell anybody that we're here, what our plans are, or where we're going, or if we are or not since, if you are dead. So I think I handled the situation quite gracefully. Would do it again.
I bet you would. You've been lucky so far, not skilled. You have a lot more competent people than you looking after you.
You don't fucking know me.
She's like sighs, shakes her head, and she says, "Yeah, all right. I don't know you, not very well, but I'm getting a pretty good idea of how you operate. If you ever get separated from the rest of these people, you're gonna find yourself in deep trouble."
I've been on my own my entire existence. Having people around me like this is a new development. So trust me when I say I can handle myself.
There's a roll here, and I'm not sure what it is because you're not charming, but you're also not like coercing her necessarily. You're just trying to get her to take you seriously and be like, listen, fuckface, like I can take care of myself. Yeah, let me.
Negotiation? Leadership?
Like you're not even trying to get anything from her except a change in her attitude towards you. So maybe it is charm, right? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just getting someone to think. I mean, you're acting, even if it's like intelligent. You're trying to convince her that you are a certain person, and in this case, that person is like competent and like capable. So yeah, let's make it a charm roll, and I think the difficulty is going to be three purples.
Mhm.
All right. You got a threat and a failure. So mark a point of strain. And I think that you see her make a face like, okay, sure. Like, all right, I believe you. Right. Okay. She kind of like rolls her eyes a little bit and is just like,
I don't need you to believe me. And by the time you figure it out, it'll probably be too late.
where'd you get that gun from anyway?
Sure, you would love to know that.
Yeah. And she shrugs. She's like, doesn't say anything.
What?
Yeah, and unless you keep talking to her, she, to kind of show that she's like, yeah, you're not really like worth worrying about. She just lays back down and just like, I'm just gonna close my eyes. I'm not scared of you.
Damn.
I don't think Haley has a problem with that. I think
Yeah.
most of her advantage comes from being underestimated. So
Yes, yeah, and she's continuing to do that. She's not taking you very seriously, and she doesn't believe that. Yeah, she like everything she said, she still believes.
Okay. I think Haley's absolutely fine with that.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I guess then, Autumn, was there anything you want to do? Did you still want to go talk to the captain, or are you just good?
I'm good. I think like it seems like
right,
we have a
'cause you
pretty
only
good
need to talk to
arrangement.
the
Johnny's
captain
got the
too.
closet. I got my room. Everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah, I dig
except
it.
Christine.
Yes, everyone's happy. So, cut to, yeah, of course. So Haley, you are in the room. Vigdis doesn't even really open an eye when Christine comes in, muttering to herself, "It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine." And she walks over to, I guess, Yasna's bag. Yasna, do you have any weapons in your bag? Do you have like a gun or a knife or anything like that?
I believe I have a gun and a knife, unless I'm carrying one of those on my person.
Okay.
But I'm
yeah,
probably
I
not
imagine you would
carrying a
keep-
gun around on the ship, so.
Yeah, probably. I'll leave it up to you. Does Christine take your gun or your knife?
I think I have the knife. I think that's
Okay,
what
so she takes the gun.
I would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Christine comes in, and Haley, you see Christine kneel down by one of the bunks, pull over a bag, unzip it, and start going through it. Do you say anything?
Hey, Christine, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
She turns her head around real slow and looks at you, and she's got this kind of like plastic smile on her face, and she says, "Oh, don't you worry about it, sweetheart. I'm just looking for something." Turns back to the bag.
Okay, listen, you Stepford wife ass motherfucker. Get away from Yasna's shit.
Haley's done. Haley's had enough shit.
So she stands. She's blocking the bag. So you hear the bag zip back up, and she stands up without turning around to face you, and she says, "Oh, it's okay. I found what I was looking for."
I think if Christine's not going to show her what she grabbed, I think Haley's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
try and,
clearly, like the camera here, the shot is from the front of Christine, and she's
Right.
holding Yasna's pistol in her
Yeah.
hands, but you're
I
behind
can
her, so
see
we're
it.
looking at you over her
Oh,
shoulder. You
oh,
can't
okay,
see
okay,
it.
okay,
No.
okay, okay.
So like you're behind her, looking at her back, and she stands up and she's holding it, and she's just got this kind of like smile and this like everything's fine smile on her face.
I think Haley would like try and like grab her wrist, whatever hand she was obviously holding something in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I mean, she like tucks it into her coat. So when you come over and grab her hand and like turn her around, you can see there's like a bulge in her like rib cage in the coat, and she's like zipping it up. She turns around and kind of pulls her hand away from you, and she's like, "Whoa, what's going on, Haley? What's wrong?"
What are you doing messing around in Yasna's stuff?
And she crouches down to eye level with you, and she says, "It's okay, honey. Yasna just asked me to get something for her."
Yasna wouldn't ask you to do anything.
True facts.
And she smiles, and again she says, "It's fine. Don't worry about it. Excuse me a
What's
minute,
in your
Haley."
pocket?
And she,
Don't talk to me
what do you
like
got there?
that.
A knife.
No!
So she stands up, and she puts her hand like on your head and like ruffles your hair a little, and she's like, "Oh, honey, don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be okay."
I'm gonna grab for the bulge.
Okay, all right.
I've got
So you want to
sleight
try and
of
take
hand. Is that a thing? Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean it's in her coat,
Nope.
and the coat is zipped up, so
Hmm.
you'll have to like shove your hand up her shirt, I guess, to like.
I
Get it.
have a knife. Can I just cut it out.
I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty intense. So here's what we'll do, right? So you do have a knife. Christine has a gun in her coat. She is about to leave, and Vigdis is asleep. And you were the only one that saw this happen. So I think probably because we're running out of time here, probably what happens is we see your face, we see her smiling down at you. Everybody watching knows there's the gun. You probably have a good suspicion there's a gun, and you look over your shoulder at your knife, like hanging in its scabbard or whatever, off of your bed, and she follows it and looks at you. And the last shot is the two of you just making eye contact right before whatever happens. And we will find out what that is at the beginning of the next episode. Does Haley go for the knife? Does Christine shoot Haley in the face and run out? Who knows?
Let it come.
Who knows?
Let
Who knows what happens? Yep. Cool. All right. Let's do some shout outs and we will find out the thing next time. Let's start since we were just talking. Haley, aka Vana, do the thing. Do some shout outs for us.
Oh, okay. Hello, I am Vana. I stream 5 days a week on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Vana, Vana. Follow me on social medias to keep up to date with when I'm here or there, or at Saving Throw Show, where I do a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons playthrough. Oh, it's time to take my medication. I do a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons playthrough called Pirates of Salt Bay. We're playing through Ghost of Saltmarsh right now with a really amazing cast and GM. So check that out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. PST over on Saving Throw Show. And also I've started doing YouTube stuff. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's Vanarama Games. We're creeping up on 700 subscribers, so
yeah,
check it out.
Excellent. Cool. Down below, playing Johnny Collins, it's Elspeth. Elspeth, take it away.
What's up? How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. I cannot believe we are getting in so much far Verona time. I'm so excited. Everyone's been able to make it. We have been having some great episodes, and I'm very, very happy to be a part of this team as always. It's a blast. I was really happy with the flashback. You can find me at twitch.tv/Elspeth, where I do my own show. Usually start around 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time. I was playing Call of Duty yesterday, which is fantastic. I'm going to be playing The Outer Worlds this evening. Going to be trying that for the first time. I've heard really, really good things about it, so I'm excited. Space RPG, dude. I am all about it. I've also been addicted to Civilization 5. Just recently started that. I also do voice acting pretty often, and if you'd like to find more voiceover stuff, you can find me on my YouTube channel as well, which is youtube.com/Elspeth Eastman VA. I'm also on Twitter at Elspeth Eastman, and I'm just kind of all over the place, but excited to start Our Worlds tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, it's good to be here. Good to be here on Far Verona in space. Space is good.
Excellent, thank you. Over in the other bottom corner down there, it's djWheat.
Yo,
do the thing. DJ
thank you, Adam. Thank you, players. As always, I'm loving the Far Verona. It's great. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning from 8 to 11. That's Central Time, and I'm in Central Time, so just fucking deal with it. I'm playing the Our Worlds as Piani Pick, which has actually been way more fun than I ever thought it would be. So I actually get to, say every line, and it's really funny because I've actually never done that before. So, it's nice to read the line and then I click it and it sounds like he's responding to Piani, like or she or whatever. It's great. So anyway, stop by if you need some Swan Song fix or having fun. And then I also have a YouTube, but I could not let Elspeth have a longer YouTube name than me. So mine is actually Marcus djWheat Graham YouTube 2007. So I hope you'll stop by. And I'm just fucking around. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. And last but not least, the Benjamin Button of the group, it's Mark. Mark,
Corporal Thumb.
take it away.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for a great show. Another great episode of Far Verona. Like Elspeth said, I'm really glad we get to play a lot of this right now because it's getting good. You can check me out. I do a D&D show called High Rollers every Sunday. That's at 5 p.m. UK time. It is it's British Standard Time, but it's going back to GMT on Sunday or tonight or something. I don't know. Check your time zones. That's a D&D 5th edition show I do with my crew, but I also have started doing way more Twitch streaming on my own Twitch channel, which is Sherlock_Humes, which you can check me out. I have also been playing the Outer Worlds, which I'm probably going to be playing a lot more of because I'm really enjoying it. I also do a little bit of Magic the Gathering sometimes, and it's just a lot of good fun. We have a lot of good chill out time. I do have a YouTube channel, but I've not uploaded there in a long time, but I should probably do that. Thanks for the great episode. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Cast. Bye.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for coming. As always, my name is Adam Coble. I have been your Space Master this morning and or evening or afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Thank you for coming and watching Far Verona. It's been a blast. Thank you to my cast for coming and checking out. If you want to find me doing other stuff, mostly RPG related, you can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble. Don't forget to go over to community.itmejp.com to check out the Q&A thread, which I will put together now so you can ask questions about today's episode. Before we go, though, I owe these folks some experience points. So let's quickly go through and see. Countess Eridonis Vasca Autumn, did any of your motivations come up today in a way that complicated the game?
That would have complicated the game?
Yeah, basically, because the idea is the motivations come up in a way that like moves the game in an interesting direction, or like wasn't just a given.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So I guess like the main turning point for Autumn was as confronting this Vigris, I can't remember, I think her name was.
Vigdis,
using words and trying to like berate her down rather than trying to like fry her brain and stuff, which I thought maybe would tie into the strength of idealistic. Like Autumn does genuinely think that like things can be resolved and that people inherently aren't assholes. But I don't know if that would count. I'm happy for it not to, but
yeah. And this is great because you put yourself in a position where you could have gotten, if you had just like microwaved her brain, you could have gone for recklessness, right? So yes, good move. So you have 10 base and then another 5 for idealistic.
Yes,
sounds good. Johnny, and by the way, Elspeth, thank you for that. Thanks for rolling with the flashback. I was just like, oh, we should do a flashback.
Cool.
I loved
thank
it.
you, Elspeth,
I was
for that.
so
Yeah,
happy.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. We'll get a little bit of Johnny's sister. I've got words to say on that. But as far as extra XP, I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know. I'm not sure that I would really have anything to add there because he was, getting into a fight with Vigdis, but I don't think that actually contributed or was part of his programming. I don't think it was like part of any like fear or
well, I mean, your fear, your desire, fear, strength, and flaw, those are all part of your programming, right? So like even if it's like I did this because Johnny was like, because this is a question to Elsbeth rather than a question like to Johnny. Like, do you feel like any of your motivations came up? And it's okay if they didn't. Right?
I don't,
like that,
actually. I'm gonna be honest there. I don't think any of the motivations came up for Johnny. So
that's okay. Haley, I feel like I have a thought about this, but I want to hear what you think.
Wait, yeah, I'd love to hear your thought.
Your hubris flaw came up again, definitely, because you were like very aggressive with someone who you didn't know and who was like showing themselves to be kind of dangerous, and you were just like, fuck you, like you can't boss me around. I'm super important. What did you say? Like I was born perfect, basically. Like
I didn't say that, but it was like their argument is like, oh, I was born, so I'm more important, and it's like, no, I was born full and finished. Like I've been around a lot longer than you. So
that conversation felt
I
like
have the advantage.
It felt like Haley's hubris coming to the fore.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna make
your relationship.
I was gonna make the same argument, but for ambition. So I'm good with either.
Yeah,
of those.
I feel like you crave,
like,
crave power over others, and definitely. Yeah, I think for either one or the other of those, but yeah, definitely take the 15 for this session. And then last but not least, Yasna, any of your motivations?
I have a desire of justice, which I kind of failed to do today, but I guess that was the question back to you, is that like I acted on that.
Yeah, well, I think you were acting out of a sense of like fairness for everyone. And I think that's come up before, and you've been rewarded for it. And it definitely alienated you a little bit from the situation. You could have just been like, yeah, that's fine, Johnny, go sleep in a closet, which is where we ended up, but you tried. Yeah. And also, just to be like transparent, part of what I'm doing with your relationship with Hadil is give the opportunity to contest with your flaw, with your deception flaw, right? Like, she's gonna, to get close to her, to get to know her better, she's gonna expect that you tell her things about yourself. And I'm basically just being like, are you gonna lie? You gonna lie to her? You gonna tell her the truth? You gonna lie? What's gonna happen? So think on that when we proceed with that relationship.
Sure, but the other reason is just to make Autumn jealous, right?
I mean, I'm just throwing around characters to see who gets along with who. You will have to figure out your own relationships, but yeah, we'll see about jealousy next time, because somebody on the ship is a lot more jealous than Autumn is, and
That's
we'll see
true.
how they respond.
That's true. It runs deep. It runs deep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, that's it for us. Thank you for coming, everybody. This has been Roleplay for Verona. It has been a delight. Thanks for coming, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.